We're going to now use that grip of the rear naked choke to be able to go ahead and now decide which arm and what side I'm going to go ahead and attack. For the purposes of this, my hand underneath his head is going to be my left arm, which means my right arm is going to be able to move and frame a little bit more. Even if he's defending his arms in and I'm staying on top of him, once I'm underneath, I can go ahead and now decide when I want to be able to move or when it's a good time for me to start to address this arm. As he goes ahead and starts to move, he has to start to wiggle a little bit, and those arms are going to kind of move away a little. I'm not really going to force anything yet because I still want to have some control. As he goes ahead and starts to move, my hand again, my right hand that was controlling his head, slides to the inside of my hip and starts to wedge my elbow against the inside of my hip to get his elbow to go to the outside. My head stays down and in, like I was saying, I want to get my chin almost to my wrist. So that way, if he needs to try to move, I can be able to start to push this away. Now, a lot of times when we say push this away, I can go ahead and try to like muscle this and do this with my hands. I can make this a lot easier because my weight's already down and in by just using my big toes to push this away and be able to reset. If he goes and tries to move from here, it's just making it easier for me to get my hand to the inside of his armpit, okay? When we're in this position, I pretty much know my weight's all going this way. He could oop and try to bridge me from that side, but I know that I can step this leg up, and there's an entire series that we can do from here. We're just gonna look at like a short side of Americana from this position. You already see that I have control of inside of his armpit, and I wait for him to start to try to move this arm to get it back. My right arm now is just being here to be annoying, to get this arm to be kind of flat and pushed out. Once I'm able to get this in line with his head, I grab his wrist, okay? From here, as he continues to try to move, my right arm now just slides underneath and gets like a double motorcycle grip, all right? From here, all I have to do, because my weight is still down and in, is start to just rotate this back, and I get the Americana. Now, let's add a little bit more detail to make this even tighter. I want my weight almost going more down and in on this, so I'm going to relax my chest into, his arm or into his like shoulder joint to kind of stretch that away. If I go to do it again, it's much tighter. And if I really want to get some separation, remember, that's why we're on our big toes following this diagonal. My weight's already down and in. I use my big toes to separate and also turn his head a little bit more. I rotate, and it's much tighter. The nice thing about this is I can stay in this position, and if Johnny tries to move, he actually does this to himself. So again, that's why we use these big toes to be able to facilitate our weight down and in. We use this kind of grip to wedge away, and then once we get into this position, we allow him to set himself into something worse.